I covered Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden in person, and legacy media is dead wrong about what it actually was. So far, Democratic pundits have portrayed this rally as a fascist gathering of Nazis.
But that jamboree happening right now, you see it there on your screen, in that place is particularly chilling because in 1939, more than 20,000 supporters of a different fascist leader, Adolf Hitler, packed the garden for a so-called pro-America rally.
How on earth can MSNBC still pretend to be unbiased journalism? The logic here is that if Trump literally walked on the same land as neo-Nazis, he himself is a Nazi. But what I saw at the rally was a diverse range of demographics, including many Orthodox Jews, African-American men and women, and Latinos. I regret to inform the Democratic media that the Third Reich would have hated this.
Hey, we heard that Nazis were supposed to be here. That's what Hillary Clinton said, so we out here to see. Have you seen a Nazi today?
We are the Nazi party.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're
We're
one
the
white
plural.
girl.
I'm the Nazi right here, yes.
Yeah.
Dominican Nazi.
Dominican Nazi.
Latina
Nazi. We got.
Oh, I'm the black Nazi.
Black Nazi.
The biggest blackest Nazi you ever seen in your life.
I'm the Jewish Nazi. The Jewish Nazi.
The place was packed to the gills. MSG capacity is about 20,000 people, and a volunteer told me that they expected 100,000 people waiting outside by 6 a.m. that morning. Pretty sure that doubled over the course of the day. I actually brought a few friends who are Russian Jews to the rally, including my friend's mom. Yesterday was the exact 50th anniversary of her fleeing the Soviet Union, where there was state-sponsored anti-Semitism. She was overjoyed to be at MSG. Her son wore a MAGA hat written in Yiddish. So these are devoted Trump fans, and there were many like them in the arena. I saw at least 4 Israeli flags during the event. This Orthodox Jewish kid behind me said his entire community in Brooklyn is pro-Trump. Also at MSG was Holocaust survivor Jerry Wartsky. Here's what he had to say a little while ago.
Hitler invaded Poland when I was 9 years old. He murdered my parents and most of our family. I know more about Hitler than Kamala will ever know in 1,000 lifetimes. For her to accuse President Trump of being like Hitler is the worst thing I've ever heard in my 75 years living in the United States.
Days before the rally, Hillary Clinton was off to her same old basket of deplorables rhetoric.
Trump actually reenacting the Madison Square Garden rally in 1939. I write about this in my book.
I thought the temperature in this country was too high, Hillary. Tone down the inflammatory comments. Apparently, they were not serious about that. Again, this is after a couple assassination attempts against Trump. The week before the MSG rally, House Speaker Mike Johnson and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell co-drafted a rare joint statement asking Kamala Harris and her campaign to de-escalate the fiery and accusatory rhetoric coming out of her campaign. In the weeks since that second sobering reminder, the Democratic nominee for President of the United States has only fanned the flames beneath a boiling cauldron of political animus. The vice president's words more closely resemble those of President Trump's second would-be assassin than her own earlier appeal to civility. The discourse mellowed out after each attempt for a short while, but then it was back to the same old playbook.
The only reason that the rhetoric has gotten this far is precisely because they are trying to prime the kind of froth that led up to the January 6th attack on the Capitol.
The MSG rally speeches went on for 6 hours, but it seems like almost every headline the next morning was focused on this one comedian who opened up the whole rally. Democrats are using offensive lines from Joe Rogan adjacent comedian Tony Hinchcliffe to paint Trump and his coalition as bigoted. His jokes were an insult to Puerto Rican people and, frankly, comedy.
A lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right.
I was there. He bombed on quite a few jokes, including that very crude one. It was reckless, stupid, and frankly insensitive to do this, knowing Trump's campaign would also take the fall for it.
I didn't agree with the comedian said. None of us did. When it came out, we were all like,
distanced himself.
Yeah, of course. We were all like, wait, what? Who? Did that get up? No. Nobody agreed with that. Nobody.
But does all this make the rally a Nazi rally?
I don't see no stinking Nazis in here. I don't see no stinking domestic terrorists in here. The only thing I see in here are a bunch of hard-working men and women that are real Americans, brother.
Many of the speakers at the Trump rally reiterated support for Israel and the Jewish people, unlike Kamala Harris, who recently affirmed a protester's claim that Israel is perpetrating a genocide against the Palestinian people.
So,
2,000 people dead. 19,000 children are dead. 19,000 children are dead.
so listen, what he's talking about, it's real. And so that's not the subject that I came to discuss today, but it's real. And I respect his voice.
The Democratic Party has granted cover to rabid anti-Semitic demonstrations across this country and college campuses, some of which were outright pro-Hamas. And Kamala Harris cannot claim to have a monopoly on decency and decorum when she and her proxies argue that Trump is akin to a ruthless dictator who perpetrated the mass murder of many millions of Jews and many others. Democrats diminish the experience of Jews like my friend's mom, who escaped persecution on the basis of her being Jewish, when they make this comparison. Last week, Trump went to McDonald's in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, put on the apron, and worked as a fry cook. It totally broke the internet. To learn more about that, click here.